Here is Thom Hartmann with his guest Mary Trump together to break down the latest on Trump and what may come next.
What do you say to voters who have concerns about your capabilities to serve?
Well, I took 2 tests, cognitive tests. I aced them, both of them, as you know. We made it public. He took none. I'd like to see him take one, just one, a real easy one. Like go through the first 5 questions. He couldn't do it. But I took 2 cognitive tests. I took physical exams every year. And, you know, we knock on wood wherever we may have wood, that I'm in very good health. I just won 2 club championships, not even senior, 2 regular club championships. To do that, you have to be quite smart, and you have to be able to hit the ball a long way. And I do it. He doesn't do it. He can't hit a ball 50 yards. He challenged me to a golf match. He can't hit a ball 50 yards. I think I'm in very good shape. I feel that I'm as in good a shape as I was 25, 30 years ago. Actually, I'm probably a little bit lighter, but I'm in as good a shape as I was years ago. I feel very good. I feel the same. But I was willing to take a cognitive test. And you know what? If I didn't do well, I aced them.
You know, what's going on in the Republican Party here?
I think it's a combination of they see an opportunity that I don't believe would have necessarily presented itself before Donald. Although, let's be clear, I think Mitch McConnell has been doing his part to make sure that the Republican Party maintains power at no matter what cost, even before Donald came on the scene. But what he did do was show them that you can basically get away with anything as long as you keep pushing the envelope and refuse to take responsibility. So the demographic changes in this country have kind of created a sense of urgency that combined with the fact that they are opportunists who are either comfortable making use of racist tropes or who are themselves white supremacists. And I guess if you're comfortable being with racism, then you probably are a white supremacist, has pushed them to this point where they are absolutely willing to do anything to hold on to power, no matter how illegitimately they acquire it. And that's why this moment we face is so dangerous, because they are running out of time. They know that if there were a level playing field, if everybody who is entitled to vote in this country was allowed to vote in this country, Republicans, I don't believe, could ever win a national election again.
And he doesn't care about our veterans. Nobody been worse. I had the highest approval rating for veterans taking care of the VA. He has the worst. He's gotten rid of all the things that I approved. Choice that I got through Congress, all of the different things I approved, they abandoned. We had by far the highest, and now it's down in less than half because he's done all these great things that we did. And I think he did it just because I approved it, which is crazy. But he has killed so many people at our border by allowing all of these people to come in. And it's a very sad day in America.
President Biden, you have the mic.
Every single thing he said is a lie.
I mean, what's it going to take for the Republican Party to pull back from that, or to, I mean, is it going to take a moral moment, or is it going to take electoral defeat, or are we destined to see a political party that, you know, sort of like the National Socialists did in 1933 or in 1924 in Italy, the Mussolini's party, that's they're now on a path that they can't turn away from until they flip the country essentially fascist.
Yeah, I don't think that they have any incentive to abandon Donald or to abandon the path they're currently on. I think we saw in the gubernatorial election in Virginia that Youngkin was trying to find a way to thread the needle of maintaining Donald's support without embracing it necessarily. So I think the Republicans are discovering that they can continue to embrace Trumpism, so-called, without Donald. They're all going to learn what line they have to toe. And you know, if you see the cravenness of people like Ted Cruz, who, by the way, if we had been unfortunate enough to have Ted Cruz as president in 2016, would have dealt with COVID like a sane person. They are all willing to go down this very dark road. So I think they will come to the point where they realize they don't need him anymore and that it's just going to take off without him. Because, I mean, unless I'm wrong, he's not immortal. He won't be around forever. And at that point, all of the things that they helped him, that he helped them reveal about who they are, will have taken even stronger root. And let's be clear, Donald hasn't done anything new. He hasn't changed the Republican Party. He's just revealed who they've always been, I think, at least in my lifetime.
Yeah, and much like the Republicans bound themselves to St. Ronnie after he vanished from the public scene, when he was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. I'm wondering what, as a psychologist and a keen political observer, and that's one of the things that has always most impressed me about you, is your ability to understand the psychological impact of politics and the political impact of changes, psychological changes in our society, and the psychology of the individual politicians, in part from your own experience, and in part, I'm guessing, from watching your uncle go through this stuff. But the question is, what does your uncle Donald Trump have in common psychologically with autocrats that we've seen in the past? I know Hitler comparisons are considered kind of over the top, but there's Mussolini, there's Franco, there's Pinochet, or in the modern era, I mean, people like Modi in India, or Duterte in the Philippines, or Jair Bolsonaro in Brazil, all people who aspire to be, Mussolini-level autocrats. What do they have in common psychologically?
Well, I mean, a very deep narcissism, which covers over an even deeper insecurity. These are men who refer to strong men, but the fact that they need the attention, that they crave that level of power, to me suggests that they're incredibly weak. However, they're incredibly good. And I think Donald might be better at this than certainly better at this than anybody I've ever met. They're incredibly good at finding people who are weaker than they are, which is a trick and a half, because Donald's the weakest person I've ever met in my life. And they're very, very good at instilling fear in people and transforming that fear into anger, because fear is a terribly uncomfortable emotion. It doesn't feel good, but you need it in order to turn it into an anger and sometimes even a rage that can be used for your own purposes if you aspire to be an autocrat. So I think Donald definitely shares all of those traits with the men you mentioned. With this difference, I have never seen anybody who aspires to be an autocrat and a peer with other autocrats who acts so insecure and inferior around other strongmen.